It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're gonna be talking about the new edition lock-ins that the lock-in reward did get released today. The 5 players obviously were out in prior weeks, but we're gonna be talking about which ones are worth you guys locking in and how good specifically. Again, we kind of already made the video, but these 4 specific cards are, now that we've gotten to see them a little bit more. Now, again, gonna be talking about the price of each one and if it is worth it for you guys to try and go out and get the guys to lock them in for. So, as you guys can see, I locked in Eddie Jones, and before we dive into whether he's worth it or not, go watch the gameplay. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button. We're on the road towards 120,000 subscribers. Let's start actually at the back, okay? Jerry West. This card right now is what? 20,000 MT, if that. Man, Jerry West stinks. I don't care how good his SIGs are. I don't care about any of that. Jerry West is a bona fide scrub in my team, okay? Sure, you can go get Boban if you want to get Boban. That's fine. I don't really care. But Jerry West stinks, okay? So sure, he's 20, 30, 40,000 MT. Whatever the card is, he is 100% not worth getting because he's not even a top 20 point guard in the game. He's not. Give me Amethyst Penny Hardaway over Jerry West. So, to go along with that, none of the diamonds are great that come with it. I mean, Claxton's okay, McDaniel's okay, Thompson's okay, Boban's okay. But none of those guys are like game-breaking, which, you know, if you lock in Jerry West, you've got incredible diamonds to use as well. So, I mean, as far as one of the worst value card in the game, Jerry West is definitely one of them because you're never going to get the MT back for him. And that goes for every single one of these. If you lock them in, you're never getting that MT back. Say goodbye. Never getting it back. So, I mean, just kind of be ready and be prepared for that. Next up, guys, let's talk a little bit about Eddie Jones. Now, I locked in Eddie Jones, okay? Now, why did I lock in Eddie Jones? Because people were telling me he was a top 5 shooting guard in the game. Is he a top 5 shooting guard in the game? Yeah, he is, okay? Because you got T-Mac, who's better than him. You got Terry, who's better than him. I think he's on the kind of similar levels like a guy like Billy Knight. Like, I think that Eddie Jones is absolutely incredible in my team. Is he worth the lock-in? No. Now, the reason to me Eddie Jones isn't worth the lock-in for the majority of the people watching this video is because he right now, as I'm looking at it, TJ Warren's 55K, 45K right there for that TJ Warren. You can probably snap one for cheaper. But as I'm looking at it right now, he's what? Close to 100K. You can't make the case that Eddie Jones is close to 100K and you got to lock all that in when you can go get Galaxy Opal Scottie Pippen for just over 100,000 MT. Like, that's the problem I have with Eddie Jones. And I like Eddie Jones. This one is 100,000. Like, you can get Scottie Pippen for 100,000. I like Eddie Jones. I don't regret locking this in because I got a good gameplay out and I actually do enjoy the card. He's probably going to be in my lineup for the foreseeable future. But does that mean he's worth it? No. Like, I can't sit up here and tell you guys Eddie Jones is worth it. Is he probably the most worth it? Again, we'll talk about it here in a second, but if you do lock it in, I would not fault you. Like, especially if you already like know when he spent, you don't have a ton of MT. I wouldn't fault you if you did lock in for Eddie Jones. Fun card to use, great release, really solid defensively, just a really good overall card. Now back to the pink diamonds. Are any of these usable? I mean, OJ Mayo is not bad. Is he great though? No. I mean, none of these pink diamonds are that great. I mean, you can use Marcus Smart, you can use TJ Warren. Big Joe Val is not very good. But none of those cards are like game breaking. Yeah, I look at these 5 cards and they're like, you know, I got them, but they'll never play for me. Eddie Jones, on the other hand, is really solid. Next up, guys, let's look at Dikembe Mutombo. Now, first of all, shout out Unbeatable Jacob, telling everybody to stock up on Dennis Rodman's. Well, Unbeatable Jacob, shout out to everybody that took Unbeatable Jacob's advice. Hopefully, you guys got out on the short squeeze before his price really went really down in the mud. But shout out Unbeatable Jacobs doing a 24-hour stream. Maybe that will make up for it. But yeah, he told everybody that Dennis Rodman is going to go up to 3 million MT, and he's currently at 15,000 MT. Dikembe Mutombo, okay? He's not super expensive. Now, he's not cheap because there are certain cards in the set that do cost a little bit, like Gordon Hayward. But outside of Gordon Hayward, he's relatively cheap. Like Ben Wallace, Gordon Hayward, those are going to be like the gatekeepers per se. Ben Wallace is like 150. Gordon Hayward's like 400K right now. Expect Gordon Hayward at least to go down. You're probably going to be able to get Dikembe for like 300,000 MT. Is he worth that? No. Now, why is he not worth that? Gordon Hayward's good, by the way, okay? I want you guys to understand and know Gordon Hayward is really solid in my team. But the problem is, he's really the only card here that I love. De'Aaron Fox not playing, Rodman's not playing, Granger's not playing. You could play Ben Wallace, but that's one of the 3 spots Mutombo, or one of the 4 spots Mutombo can play. So you only have 3 other spots for Mutombo. And then the problem I have with that is, Taco is better than Dikembe Mutombo. Go out and get yourself Taco Fall instead. I mean, it's honestly that simple. Plus, even if you want to spend on Taco, if you want to spend on, I'll give you other options, D-Rob, Kareem, you can get that MT back. Like if you bought a David Robinson, you can eventually sell him, at least get some sort of that MT back. When you lock in these sets, you're never getting this MT back, any bit of it. Like even if you buy a card and he loses value and then you sell him, you still get some MT back. That's not the case when you lock in sets in. So that's something I'd kind of, I'd be aware of, guys, when you do, lock in these sets that are, aren't cheap. No, you're probably going to lose some MT on it. Dikembe is not bad. Don't get it twisted. Dikembe is actually really, really solid in my team. He'd be a lot better if we didn't have Taco. He'd be a lot better if we didn't have KP and D-Rob as well. So that's just something for you guys to keep in the back of your minds and to think about. I'm probably going to get Taco really soon. Because maybe Friday we'll get something, but I have a hard time with Shaq coming out with Dikembe as a lock-in. Neither of those guys compared to what Taco can give you. So to me, sell this set. If you have it saved up, sell it. If you have this set, you can lock it in, I'd sell it. If you have this set, definitely sell it. That's where we're at right now. And then we get to Terry Dischinger. Now, I said in my gameplay video of Terry Dischinger, he is a top 2 shooting guard in the game, and he's not better than Tracy McGrady. So people are going to try to tell you Terry Dischinger is better than Tracy, and maybe you should sell Tracy to get Terry Dischinger. Absolutely not. Do not feed into that. That is not that's just not true. Now, price of Terry Dischinger, you're probably looking at close to 1.5 mil. Bosch is about 300, or Bosch about probably 250. Clyde 300K. James Worthy right now is 400K, probably going to go down in price. You look at Oscar, probably 250, and then D-Wade, who shouldn't be super expensive, but again, 250. So, I mean, again, you're probably looking at 1.5 million MT. Is he worth that? Absolutely not. If, let's say on Friday, he gets to 500 or so K, which is not going to happen, but if he did, then maybe, if he's still the second best shooting guard in the game. Because my whole thing is this, okay, and I like Terry Dischinger. If I could lock in for him, I absolutely would. I don't have the funds, and I'm not locking in 1.5 million MT. But my big deal is this. Since Terry came out, you'd think Tracy McGrady's price would go down. And it really hasn't. I mean, Tracy McGrady is still 1.5 mil. Which makes sense, right? If Tracy McGrady got to under a mil, it's just a no-brainer, right? Why lock in Terry when you can get Tracy McGrady? That's just the whole deal here. Tracy's the better option. And again, that's just my whole thing. And especially, guys, if you can get a Tracy, let's say, with 35 hops or 46 hops for the same price as getting a Terry Dischinger, it's just a no-brainer. Again, I like Terry Dischinger. I wish I could add him to my squad because the card is absolutely incredible, right? It really, truly is that simple. I love Terry Dischinger. I love his release. It's super quick, super easy to time, easy to green. But you cannot tell me that he's worth 1.5 million MT. There's not any player worth that, let alone Terry Dischinger. Go, instead of doing that with 1.5 mil, go get Taco. Go get KP. Go get, Scottie Pippen. Build yourself a whole squad or just save your MT. Like, that's my whole thing. Just save your MT. There's absolutely no reason to lock up all that, all the MT. Again, back in the MT, whatever, when you were able to just go through MT, I'm not even going to say what it is, but when you were able to get MT like that, like at the snap of a finger, you could just get it and have a ton. Sure, then Terry is absolutely incredible. He's the best card and, second best shooting of the game, 100% worth it. But it's a whole ordeal now because the way you guys got to think about it is locking in for Terry Dischinger is a sick amount of MT. You're spending at very minimum, about $500 to get Terry Dischinger as far as VC prices are concerned. And that is absolutely sick. So before you lock in for Terry Dischinger, just know you're spending about $500 in VC terms to get the card. Probably even more. So just something to kind of be aware of and think about, as you're, deciding whether Terry Dischinger is worth it for you guys. Just know we're going to see shooting guards very soon that are going to be better. Like Invincibles, probably coming before you even know it. And they're not far away from changing MJ's shot. Okay, now whether they give MJ point guard eligibility, I don't know. But we're probably going to get an MJ very soon that has a changed shot. And even if he can't play shooting guard, that's just more MT you're going to have to spend to get him. So just kind of beware before locking in for Terry. I know he's hype. I know he's really good. All this stuff. I did a gameplay of him. I love him. Take a deep breath and get through it, man. You don't need him. Run this squad I'm running, man, and we'll get through it together just for the next 2 weeks. And then there's probably going to be another better shooting guard than a Terry Dischinger. That's just my advice. If anything, lock in for Eddie Jones. But ultimately, none of the lock-ins are totally worth it. That's going to wrap it up for our video, guys. Drop a like on it. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.